Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode from your best buddy. Today we're going to be doing a little drawing. So before I start anything, I do want to. Well, I guess I can start trying to do what I'm trying to do here. But so what I'm trying to do is a caricature, right? Because my likeness, the ability for me to draw somebody's likeness is not good. I'm not good at it. So one of the best ways you can get better at it is to keep trying to draw people. And so I figured I'll draw some caricatures. And who I'm going to be drawing caricatures of in these videos is just like actors and celebrities of all different types and stuff like that. I don't know how crazy with the caricatures I'm trying to get, cause like if you think about like going to a theme park or on like a public place like a boardwalk or a busy city and stuff, you got the caricaturists, right? And they, you give them money and they like they draw you, and so those people can like draw you like really fast. They just go in there and like, okay, here's your face, here's your eye, here's your freaking nose, and it's a beautiful caricature. Look at that freaking picture. But so they do that and it's like really quick, and some of them are really good, and it's you got to commend them. You know what I mean? Because they're very good at it, and it's not easy to do. It's really not easy to do. If you hear that dog barking, I apologize, by the way. But it's really not easy to do, and drawing caricatures is, I think, a very useful tool with teaching yourself how to get better at drawing the likeness. Because what are you doing with the caricature, right? You're essentially roasting whoever you're drawing to whatever degree that you decide to roast them at. You could take the features and you can just warp them way out of proportion, or you could just warp him a little bit to make him look like a little funny character. So I say that because earlier I said I'm not sure how far I'm going to go with these warpings, and that's because I don't know what I'm doing. So I can't necessarily make the conscious decision of deciding how far I'm going to warp something, because I don't know how to do that, because like I said, I don't know how to draw people's likenesses very well. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just practicing and trying to figure out what the heck I'm doing. So, but even when I mentioned the warping and stuff, like the features, no matter if you're going to warp the face a little bit or a lot, the features that you're going to warp are always going to be the same, because the features that you warp are the exaggerated features that are already present on the face. If somebody has eyes that are a little farther apart, you can warp that to any degree. You're not going to draw a caricature of somebody with eyes that are already far apart. You're not going to draw them with their eyes close together, because you're not going to know who that person is, right? So if somebody has wide eyes, you're going to warp their eyes even wider for a caricature. And when you are drawing somebody with wide eyes, even if you're trying to make it realistic, you would still need to widen those eyes a lot more than you think, because people's features are a lot more dramatic than you think. Like, try to draw somebody's face right now. Their features, they're very elusive, if that makes sense. So I'm not going to tell you who I'm drawing, by the way. I want you to try to guess. I think that'd be a fun little experiment. But uh, depending on how well I am at this, and or how good I am at doing this, and successful this series is, I think it would be very funny to see people try to guess what I'm drawing. So let me know in the comments below who you think this is. This is an actor. I will tell you it's an actor. And I don't know if I should tell you what movie he was in. Like a movie that he was in, but I just recently watched the movie and I have his picture up on my second screen. So I'm using his picture here as reference. I'm not trying to do this out of nothing, you know, because when even on the side of the street or on the boardwalk or in a theme park or something, you're not you're right there in front of them, so they're not just trying to guess what you look like. So I'm not going to do that either. But this guy's bottom lip is he's kind of biting it a little bit, so it's going to be oh no, this is this looks terrible. I'm going to suggest imply in the original picture you can't really see his bottom teeth, but I'm going to imply it just so that uh see, this is what I mean when I say I'm not good at it, because like look at this. That's so bad. His chin is bigger than that. Oh no, I didn't give myself enough room, man. I'm not going to start over either. I'm just going to try to push through it, erase what's wrong, and try to rectify it. But hopefully this turns into something. Oh my gosh. So let's see. What are these features? His nose is wide. He's got laugh lines. He's got normal-ish cheeks. It is really hard for me when I try to draw a face and capture the likeness of a face, particularly for a caricature, when I would describe their face as having predominantly normal features. And so the features of this man are quite normal for me. They're not very exaggerated. He's got kind of a square jaw but a pointy chin on top of that. Like this is supposed to be his jaw, but it's also like his chin is kind of pushing it out, or his cheeks are getting pushed out a little bit too because he's smiling. Oh man, he's got very fuzzy hair. I think I'll just do it like that. He's got very fuzzy hair, very curly hair. It looks like there's some stuff there. That's an ear. Who cares? It's just an ear. Nothing to see there. And then the hat he's wearing kind of comes down like that. The hat's not important though. I'm really just stalling because I don't want to try to draw his eyes because it's going to just look even worse than what I already have. Because I can just tell you right now, this looks nothing like him. But not so much in this particular photo, but in the movie that he was in, his eyes seemed very lazy. Not that he had a lazy eye where like it was kind of like looking in a off direction that they didn't mean to or anything like that. His eyes just made it seem like he was perpetually tired, if that makes sense. Which means if the eyes are kind of angled down this way, it makes a person look a little tired. So let's have a little face here, right? If somebody's eyes are just like this, you know, he looks tired. He looks tired or sad or you know. But I guess it depends on the face too. So if you could give him a little, I don't know. But half of that is also the eyebrows. But keep it going here. Can't lose. So I guess this is less of a caricature right now. I do want to do more caricatures in the future that are like way crazy because caricatures can just go crazy. But for now, this guy's just gonna have a little cartoon drawing of him. I guess I'll just keep his eyes a little normal and stuff. Oh my goodness. But hey, just if you're doing this yourself, you know, feel free to follow along. Like, pick your own like actor or something, and kind of draw him and follow along. You know, you're not going to be able to, unless you're very lucky or you know who I am drawing somehow, because God knows you can't tell by looking at this picture. But if you do decide to like draw a character and stuff, you know, don't feel let down or anything if you're not getting their face right, because that is a very hard skill. It is a very hard skill to get down. You know, it takes you have to look at the face in a very particular way, and just you have to look at it in a way that you don't usually look at faces, you know? And that's a skill that you need to practice. And, you know, it's not something everybody starts out with. I would go to say that nobody starts out with that skill. So let's get it. He's got kind of bushy brows. So this is just the sketch. I know that real caricaturists, they can just go in with like a felt marker and just whip out the whole picture willy-nilly, but I'm not good at drawing, so there's the dog again. Anyways, so I'm just getting a quick sketch in, and then I'll go over to the pin. That looks kind of like him. Guys, jeez. Please let me know. Oh man, if anybody can guess who this is, I would be very impressed. So bad. So like I said, if you can't do it, don't feel discouraged, because look at the screen. Like, for real, look at the screen. If I'm not discouraged, you shouldn't be discouraged. Like, I know it's a hard thing to like get over if you can't get something to look right. You know, it just doesn't work. You can't get it to work. It's easy to give up. But I'm here to let you know that you're not the only one who's having this struggle, you know? Yours truly is having this struggle, and every artist in the world has had that struggle. It doesn't matter if there's somebody in your age group that can do it better than you, because who knows when they started. And that's that. Got some more hair here on the other side. Oh man, that don't look like him at all. I think it's his nose mostly. His nose is a little too much. Let's see here. I'm gonna try to draw a line along the topography of his nose. He's got a flat bridge. He doesn't have a very deep bridge to brow, but it is flat, and then it curves like that. So that's the topography, and then it goes into his lip. So see if I can do that, and then off to the other side, and then try to get him up here. I don't know, man. Is this? Do you know who it is? You know who it is? You should. It looks exactly like him, I tell you. It looks exactly like him. I'm also messing up his hat. Oh jeez, I'm just going back to his hat because I don't want to keep drawing the other features because I'm not doing it right. I gotta take my own advice. I can't get discouraged. This is like, so this is gonna be episode 1, right? Tune into like episode 5 or 6 and see if I've gotten any better. But here is one more thing that you should keep in mind when you're doing these types of things. A lot of what somebody's face looks like depends on the shading. You know, like I could do line work all day. You know, I can make these lines perfect and everything all day. But if I don't, half the face is in shading. You know what I mean? Like, lips aren't lines, lips are shading. That being said, I don't think shading will really help this. And also, caricaturists don't do shading generally. They just have the, well, I guess it depends. I've seen caricaturists who like go out all out with everything. You know, they do the bold marker and, oops, I messed up my background. I need to make a new background real quick because I messed up. There we go. But like I said, just gotta keep it doing it. It's the grinding wheel. It's just the grinding wheel. So I'm not even going to zoom in. I'm going to keep the same size as everything, and just kind of, I guess, get to it. So here's his nose. That's bad. That's bad. Oh man. Oh man. Oh no! What have I done? All right. Well, Is that what his face looks like? It kind of is, honestly. Like his jaw does really, it looks like it does bow out like that angle. It's crazy. And his forehead actually does come out like that too. So let's get this fuzzy curly hair he's got going on. Also on this side, let's just get it going. Fuzzy curly hair. He's got long sideburns right here. That'll probably give you a hint as to what year this particular movie is from, because this is a still from the movie that I watched. Get his neck in there. It's a collar. Get his chin here. He does have a very pointy chin. It's like not really pointy. It's actually more like square. So I guess he's got a very square chin, but it's defined. It's defined separate from his jaw, right? So like, it's very. I don't know, man. I'm just trying to survive this. And his teeth. Made his teeth really big. I'm gonna have to make his bottom lip a little higher. Oops. No, that's fine. So his bottom lip is gonna be like up to here now. Something like that. Let's get it! Oh, Control Z is so good, but still, I don't want to have to rely on it because those caricatures, once again, going back to them, they don't have a Control Z. All right, and he's biting his lip a little bit, so the bottom of his lip is not the top of his lip is more defined. So maybe I should have pushed into that a little more to like really make it more of a caricature rather than a cartoon. But that being said, I'm not going to. He does have a very pronounced forehead though. Not that you could really tell because he's wearing a hat, but his ear. You know who it is yet? You know who it is yet? Yeah, I'd be surprised. If you do, you'd freak me out. But there are some okay, so have you ever heard of these super recognizers or something like that? It's like some people, the FBI, or not the FBI, but like the police force, they can use their help a lot because they can like recognize people's faces even through like really grainy CCTV footage and stuff, like security cameras and stuff. So maybe a super recognizer could recognize this. But anyone else, nah. Nah. No way. I am going to give him a little glint of light reflection in his pupils just to give him more lifelike appearance. So here's the problem with just working with just lines, right? So I'm drawing these bags under his eyes, right? Because he does have those features. Because he's like he might be in like his 30s in this film. So people in their 30s, they do have those features sometimes. Sometimes people don't. If they have good genetics, they don't have that feature particularly. But this guy does. And the thing with just shading, or the thing with just line work is, it makes him look old, you know? Like, even though he does have those features, that shading, or without the shading, it looks like it's just an old baggy line because he's like ancient, right? But he's not ancient. Like, he does have crow's feet, sure, but he's not old person. He's not an old person. Despite what my picture might suggest. Oh man, where has it all gone wrong? I don't know, man. Let's just get this last eyebrow in and see where we're looking. But these videos probably are not going to be very long because it doesn't take very long to really I don't know. Should I try to like add some shading a little bit? Because there are some prominent shadows that might help with his face a little bit. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to experiment with that. Because look what happens if I just get rid of the sketch work and stuff. It's just a nothing. Like, who is that? That's just like a nothing face. It's just a nothing face. Who is that? That's nobody. It does. This man does not exist. So let's get the airbrush. Oh, that's hidden. Let's get a big pencil shader. Let's get some shading in. So there's that big shadow from his hat here. His hat is just going to be black. And I can just delete this shading if I don't like it. So that might be what I end up doing because I don't want to get too boggled down with this. This is just practice. I don't know how many videos like this I'm going to make, but there's going to be enough that I feel adequate in drawing people's faces. He has black hair. So we'll get that in there real quick. Do his eyebrows. Alright, let's get the shadow in here. Okay. And then his jaw shadow, because it's very bright outside where this picture was taken. This picture is in black and white, though, if you want to try to image reverse search this. If you could image reverse search this on like Google or something, I would be impressed. Crazy impressed if the person I'm drawing does in fact show up. But I don't think they will. I don't think Google's that good. I don't think Google is good enough to figure that out. You heard it here first, folks. I don't think Google's good. Alright, he's got a little shadow from his nose. Because the light source is going this way. Alright. Let's get some of this face. His lips need to be darkened because lips are mostly shade, not really line work. Even though his bottom lip is quite pale, actually. It's very dry because the movie was on a dry set, if you couldn't tell from the cowboy hat. Alright, this is starting to look more like a face. I don't know if it's looking like more like his face, but it's definitely looking more like a face. Keep it going. Keep it going. His eyes are quite dark, so I'll just get those in there real quick. I'm going to keep the little light reflection, though, because it's a quick way to make somebody look alive. His eyelid shadow, get that in there. Let's get more of this. It's darker here. It's a little dark right here. And I don't think I'm cheating by doing this, because like I said, some caricaturists they do go quite far with their art. They'll do shading and stuff. Oh, excuse me. I don't know if you heard that. I just let a burp out, man. Skin's a little darker over here, reflecting the light there. The background. Let's get this background and kind of just cover it up a little bit. Alright, and I forgot to do the rest of his hat. Here. Oh, I need to do his ear too. Shadow of his hat. A little shadow here, and then his ear in general is just like a shade of gray. His hat shadow is really bothering me. Probably because the shadow itself is a very sharp shadow, but here the shadow is not sharp. I don't know. The shading might really be making it look more like the guy, honestly. But I'll let you be the judge of that if you can figure out who it's supposed to be. Bet you can't. But the goal is by the last video I ever do of one of these types of videos, if you still can't guess, then I'll have failed utterly, and I will feel bad. This is the continuation of his chin shadow on his shirt here. So get that in. Then there's a little bit of shadow here where his neck goes into his shirt. And then just some secondary shade, not as sharp. Background. Oh boy. Oh boy. I want to push his shadows a little further because he is a dark-skinned fellow. He's got a very dark complexion. So I'm going to push that just a little farther, and then I might take some shading back so that some of the reflections are a little more. Okay. Let's get that one in. Working his eyes. I think actually his eyes might be pretty good, actually. His eyes are giving me the vibe of this guy. They are giving me the vibe. His mouth is bothering me. I'm not gonna lie, I did not do his mouth very well. His nose and his eyes are probably the best part. His mouth is just it's a mouth. I mean, it's a mouth. What can you say? It's a mouth. So, if you've seen my other videos, you might have heard me talk about lightest lights and darkest darks and stuff, and I usually start with the darkest darks. And generally, the darkest darks are going to be found in the nostrils and in the eyes, which might not seem very intuitive, but look at photographs of people's even in color. If you look at photographs of people, look at their eyes. Their eyes are usually quite dark because that's a place that catches a lot of shadow, because eyes are surrounded by folds and folds of skin, you know? Like, look at this guy's folds. He's got nothing but folds. So people's eyes are quite dark as well, but his hat is also very dark under his hat. And I'm going to do a little more shading. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but these are just supposed to be quick videos to try to like get you to try to draw yourself, you know? Like, not draw yourself, like a self-portrait or something like that, but to just stretch your creative muscles, you know? Try to capture somebody's likeness. And like I said earlier, if you don't succeed the first time, don't let that deter you. Please don't let that deter you, because look at the screen. I can't say that enough. Like, look at what I'm doing. This is not what this guy looks like. I pushed it too far right there. Probably the inside of his nose is just too much. Yeah. I just had to take that all back. But like I said, this guy does not look like this. He's much more handsome than this. But I guess it's a caricature, kind of. And caricatures aren't generally the most aesthetically pleasing to look at, you know? Like the point of a caricature is to it's to make fun of people, you know? It's to have a good spirit. It's to make fun of somebody in good spirits, you know? You're not trying to make somebody cry. Somebody who asks you to draw a caricature of them should know what's up. They should know what they're getting into. That's too much. I need a bigger brush for that. But they should know what they're getting into, you know what I mean? Nobody, if anybody goes and asks somebody to draw a caricature of them, and then they get upset from the result, that person is uptight. You heard it here first. No, that's not what it looks like. Anyways, okay, that's gonna do it. I'm just pushing it too much. So that's gonna do it for this episode. Here's a quick caricature of this guy. I started getting into the spirit of the caricature a little ways in, you know, by making his forehead a little larger, because I did notice that his forehead is a little larger, and actually I do think it does well for the caricature. When I making his forehead come out a little bit like that, you know, that's a feature that makes this rendition of this fellow, it makes him more recognizable. So let me know in the comments if you can guess who this is. I'll let you know if somebody guesses the right answer. I'll let you know. I'm not just gonna like leave you hanging and stuff and be like, oh, keep guessing. Like, I'll let you know if it's the right answer. That is if you guess at all. But if my comment section is just empty, then you will never know who this is. Unless you know. Unless you watch, you can just figure it out immediately and don't leave a comment. Like, then you will know. You're part of the secret. You can share that laugh with me, because I also know who this is. But anyways, that's gonna do it for this one. If you like this video, if you like this this idea for a series, let me know in the comments, you know, and also hit the like button to let me know that you like it. Doubly let me know that you like it. And if you haven't already subscribed, why don't you go ahead and do that for me too? That'll make me feel good. And yeah, I mean, I guess that's gonna do it for this guy. It doesn't. I don't like. Maybe this is me as a naysayer, as like hating my own work as artists do, but I don't think it looks like it. But anyways, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.